What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Destiny News Radio. I am your host, AsthMattic, and today we are talking about the Bungie Weekly update from August 27th, 2015. So this week's update focuses primarily on the way strikes are going to work in Destiny Year 2. Let's start off talking about the Nightfall. Now, the first thing that Bungie, or I should say that Luke Smith mentions, is that he doesn't like that right now the Nightfall bonus is something that people feel like they have to get immediately at the start of the week in order to get the maximum reputation rewards through the rest of the week, which makes sense that people would play that way because that's the way that reward works. But he wants this reward to be more of like a trophy or a badge of honor, like, I have completed the Nightfall for this week, look unto me, type deal. So for right now, that's actually going to be removed from the game while they finalize some stuff as to how exactly they want to use that. So that's going to be gone for a little bit. Nightfall in Year 2, going to require level 40. It's not going to be kicking you to orbit anymore on a wipe, but instead you're going to have a 30-second res timer just like you do for normal raids. Or I should say normal mode raids as opposed to hard mode raids. And the burn modifiers, like we're used to, should now be leading players to change out their armor instead of just changing out their weapons. Because right now it's, oh, okay, solar burn will give me my Galahorn, my Vision of Confluence, and whatever else. And now there's going to be some armor that has things like extra 5 points of defense when taking solar damage or nova damage or arc damage. And so expect to have a few more sets of armor. So it's, alright, solar burn this week, so here's the weapons I want and here's the armor I want. So moving on to heroic strikes in Year 2, these are also going to be level 40, but instead of there being a single heroic strike per week, there's going to be a playlist. And the way this playlist is going to work is not on the character level, but on the account level. So Bungie made the point in the update that instead of it being, okay, I'm going to do it on my first character, now I'm going to do the heroic on my second, and now on my third to get the most out of it, they want you to focus more on having a good time. Where do you have the most fun? I really like playing my hunter, my titan and my warlock are fun, but I really love my hunter, so I can just do 3 strikes on my hunter and get those rewards 3 times. And those rewards for the heroic now are going to be legendary marks. And while I'm talking about legendary marks, I want to reinforce the point that now there is no cap to how many marks you can earn per week, but instead you just have a wallet cap of 200. Also, there's going to be a legendary engram drop guaranteed for every character's first clear of a weekly heroic strike. So the way I see it is, oh sweet, I really like this character, so I go and do that one 3 times. And then I'm like, alright, I can do it once on the other guy and then once on the third guy just to get those engrams. Alright, looking at the daily story, that's also going to be account-wide. Again, it's once per day. And they made the point again that they didn't want this to feel like homework to do it once on this character, once on this character, once on this character, because that's literally doing the same thing 3 times a day, which can get boring. So instead, it's going to be probably a little bit more difficult because they've also mentioned that there's going to be increased rewards. However, they didn't give any specifics. So daily story, increased rewards, account level, so it's really only once per day. Now moving on to the PvP side of things, the first thing you're going to have to do in Destiny Year 2 is complete the initial quest chain with Lord Shaxx. Once you get that done, you're going to have access to his bounties that are weekly now, just like Petra's are in the Reef. Lord Shaxx's bounties are going to be per week, and once you complete all of them, you're going to be receiving what Bungie has classified as Nightfall tier rewards. So expect them to be a little bit more difficult, take a little bit more time, but you're also going to be getting really good rewards at the end. So people who are solely focused on PvP can now be expecting to get rewards just like people who are solely focused on PvE and are doing the Nightfall every week. Now there's one big point that I want to make before I finish, and this is tacked on right at the very end of this week's update, and this is super important because it says that Oryx himself now stands between you and these activities. And I'm just going to go ahead and quote Bungie because they said that you will have to, and I quote, survive his wrath to partake in the new endgame. Now, my assumption with this is that this applies to the story mode, not the raid. So it's not like you're going to have to beat the story and then slave away to beat the raid before you can do the Nightfall, but I expect you'll have to spend the first couple days of Year 2 beating that story mode, and then you can go in and do your daily story and look at doing the Nightfall and all that kind of fun stuff. So thank you guys very much for tuning in. This has been Destiny News Radio. I am your host, AsthMattic, and I'll see you next time.